Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 55 of the What the Sheep podcast, where myself and Alana will be discussing and breaking down and trying to figure out what the heck is going on in Exandria Unlimited episode 6. So, without further ado, let's try to figure out exactly what's going on. A lot of mystery, a lot of different things being thrown at us. But let's just take it step by step, starting with the beginning of this episode, where the first thing I want to talk about, because this has been a theme, a little bit of a theme over the past couple episodes, with Fira paying particular attention to Dorian. Now, this isn't an immediate cause for alarm or confusion, as Dorian seems to be the person the crown has the most effect on Dorian. And she's obviously showing a bit of concern in this and just making sure he's okay.
Yes.
Now, because then that begs the question is it just because she is concerned for his well-being, or if we're still on that timey-wimey stuff, or even if it's not timey-wimey stuff, she may know more about Dorian and this whole thing that's going on than she's letting on.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But yeah, you say, because I feel like we were drifting off the timey-wimey stuff from last episode, which is great that it was only like a few days ago that we did the last episode, because it's still fresh. But I feel like we were drifting away from the timey-wimey stuff. But with the end of this episode, where she's like, you made a mistake before, like it
right.
I'm not sure now. I'm not sure if there is timey-wimey stuff involved, or if it is just a very similar, like it's, patterns repeating itself.
I'm feeling like it's more of a patterns thing. It seems to be what it's shaping up to be.
Yeah, I just I like that too. I think so far in the entire series, my favorite thing is the interactions between the players, like the role play between the players. It's tricky, and I'd love for them to talk about a little bit more about how you have Fira Ray. Yeah, I'll learn to pronounce the name eventually. Fira Ray, who is seemingly, like, Anjali seemingly has a lot of extra information. She's been given a lot of extra information by the DM. Obviously, like setting and NPCs and things like that, but also backstory information. So that's really interesting to me. The closest I've ever gotten in home games or anything is like when a character's possessed, or this, like, something happens to a character to the side, but it's never lasted longer than maybe a session. So that's what I find really interesting, because it's almost like you have a co-DM in that scenario that can help lead the story further, but then they're also a player. So I think it's an interesting thing, but then it does kind of add to the confusion of who knows what. Dorian knows what happens now, but we still don't know what that is. Does Robbie know what that is?
And it's, I think we've talked about this, and I think one of the aspects of this campaign that's making it as confusing as it is that it is only an 8-episode campaign, but there's all of these elements, there's all of these character backstory elements and, like, narrative beats that make this feel like it should be a very long, extended campaign to fully flesh out all of these different things that are happening. But we know that there's only 2 episodes left, so it's like, okay, but how are, like, these things that are coming up, like, should I care about these things that are coming up when the show's going to end in 2 episodes? Like, is there going to be, like, a satisfying ending to what's happening with these different story threads that are popping up? Like, it's hard for me at times to become invested in some of these different plot elements, because I don't know, like, if they're even going to have any relevance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like Dorian's backstory and his name. That's interesting, and that's really good characterization. But is it going to be relevant in the end, outside of just being a fun RP moment? Not that everything has to be relevant in D&D.
Of course.
That's not what we're saying at all. Just when it is built up to such a big moment, it's like, I don't know. I hope it is, because I hope there's some more about this Genasi, this Genasi family. But he said he's been gone for long and they're far away, so I'm not sure if that's gonna come to fruition. no, I saw a really good post on Reddit, and it was really well worded. I didn't agree with a lot of what it was saying, but there was some few good points talking about how a lot of the players, or at least like say Liam and Ashley and Matt, who are used to the long form of storytelling, they might be used to more like keeping the characterization closer to your chest and slowly unveiling it because they're used to 150 plus episode campaigns. So in the short form, not to say that Critical Role can't, because again, as this post suggested, like they do one shots and they get these characters out really quickly, but it might be more like, because you're leading into this mini campaign, it's harder to just like have, here's the character, here's everything about them, let's play the game. It's still, we are spending a lot of time on this characterization, on this trying to figure out what happened with these characters. It's different. That's the yeah.
It's a different way to tell a story.
Yeah.
It's all.
And I'm glad they're doing it in Taldora. It's really cool. I like the aspects that Abri is adding to it. She mentioned on Twitter that, is it Nidok Pal, the name of the city?
Nirdal Pak.
Nidal Park. It's like entirely her creation, which I think is really cool. I like the idea of like hidden cities and like multiracial.
And I think we were right on the nose with it being like a Sun Warriors type deal from Avatar.
Yeah, that was cool.
There were a couple Avatar references that she dropped this episode, so I feel like that's more or less confirmation that was kind of an inspiration for this place. It's cool.
That was cool. Yeah. No dragons yet.
Sadly, no dragons. That would be really nice to see them, but that's all right. But yeah, so some other things that we learned early on in this episode is that Mirada, that Singhorn elven lady, clad in purple, is keeping a close eye on Opal. Particularly close eye.
Yeah. Is it so? Because when they met her too, there was that moment where she tried to read her mind or something, didn't she? She like was doing thoughts.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking there's some connection to her wanting Ted. And we get that kind of at the stinger of this episode, where it's clear that she's made this connection with Ted, or she's doing something. Their whole thing was to split or negate Opal's magical abilities, which comes from Ted. So we still don't know really what Ted is. We got the confirmation. We got the confirmation last week, and we got more talk about it today about how Ted is in Opal.
Yes.
Like, but also not dead, but is in Opal, is an actual...
Yeah, so I mean, could it be maybe when Opal and Ted like left their town, maybe Ted got tangled up in some stuff that she shouldn't have, and so somehow through divine magic or otherwise, she bamfed into Opal to save herself, and maybe whatever she got tangled in involves the Singhorn people.
And now there's something with Opal's mother. Was that just more like a memory-based thing? Or
I feel like it was something? I feel like it's probably more of just like a memory flavor type deal.
Yeah.
Don't know if it holds any significance. But again, it's like we don't fully know yet.
It's a bit like Lost. We get a couple answers and 20 times more questions.
Yeah.
As it progresses.
Yeah. But it's because the elves and all those people from Singhorn, they're not evil. They're not malicious.
We assume. I think we're only assuming because they're from Singhorn.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that told us they were from Singhorn, right? They didn't...
Yes, because they were going to take them there, potentially.
They could be lying.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And again, as we said before, you would think that they would know if a divine gate to the Feywild was within their, domain. And so, they could have just been passing through trying to absorb these various pockets of magic that are seeping out into these like residuum spikes. but I don't know.
And it's, I mean, and I guess from what we know from Singhorn too, they're kind of a little bit of a classist society. At least 30 years ago they were. So that they could be like these authoritative wardens of the forest, but it does seem a bit strange that they're now hunting them down and seemingly breaking into a forbidden city. Like,
because
that's what I want to know. How do they get into this super hard to get into city?
True, because if the city only reveals itself to those who are worthy, but they're after
maybe that's
Ted.
Right. I just want to check. Is the stream going okay? I'm just seeing Julia in chat.
It looks okay on my end. I have it up on my
Let us know in chat if it's running okay. Just checking.
Gotcha. Yeah, just let us know if there's any. It looks okay on my end, but who knows? But anyways, yeah. So that's a little strange.
Yeah.
But they were able to get to this city in a very like picturesque scene, up on top of like a cliff with the waterfall flowing near them, and then seeing this just immense city, once long forgotten or thought to be abandoned and in ruins, is a thriving society, ancient society, which is really cool.
That's really cool.
But one of my favorite parts about this episode, and I think every campaign needs this, and it's jumping off a waterfall. Yeah. I think every campaign needs that scene, because actually I was thinking about this. There's actually a lot of interesting characterization in jumping off of a waterfall.
Yeah.
Because each of their own characters did something different when they jumped off. It was very particular to who they are as a character. So I just thought it was interesting to note that jumping off of a waterfall is a good scene to have for just minor characterization stuff.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
We had a waterfall in Hit Dice Heroes. It was probably one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, we did. And I just think back to, I don't think it was a waterfall, but I think back to in campaign 1 when they're having the diving contest, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And Percy going a little overboard, I think, for that one, bringing explosives into it.
Magnesium or something.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
But no, the city sounds really cool.
It does.
I'm liking but another question about it.
Yeah.
It's, from what I understood, it was Melora was the one that was making it accessible, or this was her commune.
Yes, I believe so.
Who's Watcher then?
The observer, that statue.
The observer,
that they came across? I don't know. It was a feline statue, right, with like 4 angelic wings. I can't remember. I thought he had said feline nature. I can't remember though. That's what I pictured in my head for some reason. But I was watching.
You're right. A feline humanoid, a shattered halo of light, a set of wings behind her.
Yeah, it could just be a being they looked up to.
It could be like it could literally be like a construct guard of the place.
Yeah, because didn't Daryax, when he had that vision with this observer, didn't he like say like, who are you, or like, what do you do, or something, and all she said was, I observe?
Yeah.
So it could just be something like that, where it's just a construct of some kind, maybe, that was personified into this being, maybe.
Yeah. Kind of cool.
I don't know. This is an ancient pre-calamity society that's been thriving, and maybe some of the people, because I mean this is a very diverse city, so perhaps there are, maybe because the calamity was thousands of years, no, not thousands of years ago, it's hundreds of years ago, because it's only 800 post divergence, ish. I mean, maybe there's some old elves that were here. They're around that time. Maybe. I doubt they're going to be looking for that kind of information, but I love learning about the lore of these places, so I would want to know.
Could be even longer, because a lot of people did survive the calamity. Like kind of people were okay. Well,
that's true.
Speaking. yeah, it's that's Michael Thompson's It's Uatu from the Marvel. That's why I keep saying the Watcher instead of the Observer.
Oh,
That's all I was
okay.
thinking of.
I don't understand the reference, but
Yeah.
nice, nice.
But yeah, no, city. I like as we said, like the multiculturalism of it. I like the description of it. It gave me vibes of another kind of ancient city, and I can't remember now what it was, but
Oh no.
We now have Lexodons in Exandria.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I wonder if we're going to get what are the hippo people? The griffs, the gifs, the gifs. I can't remember what the hippo people are called. But they're fun too.
Okay.
But yeah, that's really cool. I like the idea of having Loxodons in Taldora. Or is this even Taldora? I had like a thing in my mind. Like, have they gone through another portal? Are they in a realm or something?
Who knows? Because we got the Earth Genasi that they came across, Elam, who apparently has some semblance of a relationship with Firarai, mentioned maybe it was Elam or maybe it was Thrushcool later on, or Thrushcool. But they mentioned that she didn't know what Taldora meant. She knows it as what Wasar. Has that always been a thing? That before Taldora was Taldora was Wasar?
I didn't get that. Like I didn't know I don't know that. But that's kind of like what I picked up on maybe. But in my head I was also like, are they on a different continent? Like is this like somewhere else?
Some weird
but seemingly
stuff.
Seemingly too, I get the sense obviously that Firarai and Elam are from like the elemental planes because they keep talking about how they've come from somewhere else. I'm wondering if like Dorian is too. Like I know not all Genasis are from the elemental plane. A lot of them are born in the material plane. But it's interesting that you've got all these people that are clearly traveling from other planes. And maybe that explains where the Loxodons come from. Like maybe they're traveling from Eberron or wherever. Which would be really cool. Which, again, is pointing us towards this planes convergence, multi-reality.
Yeah.
Again, watching too much Loki. But, you know.
But, I mean, listen, stuff like there are some things I'm excited about with this Exandria Unlimited stuff, but we'll get to that when they get to Thrushcool.
They go around the corner and there's a spell jammer like just parked next to one of the towers, and they're like, okay, well there we go. Yep,
and there it is. It actually was. Oh, okay, it actually is in this scene. Looking at my notes, one thing. So they're having a nice little chit chat with Elam and stuff, and the dog Google. Was that the dog's name? Google? I don't know, but it's adorable.
G-O-L, which is like the mathematical number.
Oh, yeah.
All numbers are mathematical, but, you know, this is the most mathematical number.
Of course. But it was just cute. Ashley Johnson obviously loves dogs and stuff, so it was just funny seeing Fern have such a positive reaction to the little pupper.
Yeah. That was cute. And then it almost became a evil dog.
It almost, The dog is now Lolth's champion. Wonderful. That would have been something.
Amazing.
Yeah. Or no, because dogs are too pure, they are just immune to the effects of the circlet.
Dogs are locked in as chaotic good creatures, and they cannot be changed.
Yep. Canon. That is my head canon. But no, so yeah, during this conversation, Elam, upon seeing this symbol and explaining a little bit of her knowledge of what this like fire symbol kind of was, she then began talking about this strange like celestial alignments, saying that Ruidus is out, and the dark moon or the dark moon is a dark omen. And
I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. I hate how there's all these goddamn.
Tharizdun had to make his way in here at some point.
I hate it. I hate how there's always these little drops, these little moon drops.
The moon. The moon. Like I wonder I wonder if like maybe Matt had talked to her about some of the moon stuff that was going on, and so now she's
Yeah.
just like incorporating it a little bit into Exandria
The moon
Unlimited.
is it's too much fun. The moon. I know I
It
use the moon a
is.
lot in our game because I'm just like I know these guys fucking love the moons,
Yeah.
and so do I. So
Yeah.
I'm always using moon stuff, but it's just like what's happening? Like, is it just an omen? Is it literally going to fall into
Yeah.
this story that we had the moon
And
stuff in the first episode?
the thing that I
Just playing
love,
into the moon stuff,
I
like
feel like the moon has always been like a big topic in the Critical Role community and stuff with Rudis,
yeah,
but I love that Kirli's moon video has just turned it into something even more. Like now
yeah,
it's like before it was like we were like a little cult of like the Mooners, right?
yeah.
Where we talked about Rudis in private. But now it's become more of like a mainstream topic in the community where it's like everyone's like the moon, the moon.
We will
It's
not
just
be silenced.
yeah, we will not be silenced.
I think this is. I think because I've just seen Andrea say like Matt and now Brian knows what's on the moon. I think they might not actually ever do anything with the moon because I think it's
Yeah.
too big a thing that they have in their guides and it's likely going to be in the new Taldora guide. I think it's going to be a thing that they want to leave open for other people to
Oh yeah, I
do
could
for
see
their
that.
campaigns. But I do really want a canon answer.
I know. Give it to us, Matt. Give it to us.
In like 30 years time, 40 years time, when the like critical role is done, like we
Yeah.
are all retiring and the channel is over and we're all old
Yeah.
and we're like, yes, it's good.
Yeah.
That's old Atlanta apparently.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh, by the way, this is what the moon was.
Yeah, that's like their final word on Critical Role. They just spill everything about the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just red cheese all along.
Or it's like a fourth wall break, and we as the viewers are viewing this world through the lens of Ruidus.
We are the moon.
We are the moon.
The critters are the moon. Get that hashtag trending. We are the moon.
We are the moon, y'all. We were the moon this whole time. Wait, the moon is us. Always has been. Oh no.
The moon was in us all along.
Yes. Listen, y'all. If we mysteriously disappear, it's because we
Oh,
were right.
Fuck.
If we crack the
God.
onto us. Oh no.
Oh my
Heard it here first. Canon.
Mhm.
And we're never wrong. We've never been wrong.
God.
Okay. So I actually have a big question about Opal. About Opal. How does she have Druidcraft? Is she like
No,
is she a Fey Warlock? And that's how she gets Druidcraft, or
I looked it up and now I can't remember because I had that same question. It might be because she could pick from. But yeah, what's it? Someone in chat's gonna beat me to it. But yeah, it was interesting.
because of her pact?
Yeah. Ooh, dang it. It could be
You guys are like the hosts of BuzzFeed Unsolved. Yeah.
we need a critical role version of it.
Mm.
I can't find it. But yeah, probably some packed stuff.
Yeah, that makes that makes the most sense. I was just like, how is she doing? Because I'm bad at D&D, y'all. I don't know anything about D&D. I just play it because it's fun. So I was like, how
Really
is she
good at
doing
playing
that?
it, though.
I think just Magic Initiate Druid. Oh, that's also what I was thinking. I love messing around with Magic Initiate stuff.
Mm,
It's always a fun time.
yeah.
Um,
It's definitely only available for druids, so yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it was interesting. It's cool. It's a cool little tidbit.
yeah.
Act of the book.
But anyways, so in this conversation, Alam couldn't give them too much information since, as they said themselves, they're not a scholar, so they didn't really have the answers they were looking for as far as this fiery symbol was. All that she knew is that it meant like a place of burning. That's pretty much all it meant. Um, but in this conversation that they were having, they decided to talk about their deepest, darkest secrets. Explain things that maybe they hadn't had time to explain before. And we got Dorian's real name in this conversation. A name that is long dead to him. A name that his mother gave him. Bronte. Bronte's name.
Yeah.
And wanting to know his last name because apparently he was pretty mum's the word on wanting to reveal his last name as well. So, I mean, it could just be as simple as it's in the past, whatever he's done. Apparently, Fira Rai might know what he's done since she kind of hinted at that.
Yeah.
So it seems like the way that Dorian was explaining it, that Bronte and whatever his last name is more or less like dead to him, or he just wants to move past it. You know, he's starting a new life as Dorian Storm, and he just wants to leave whatever happened in the past. So that's what I think. It might just be.
Yeah, and it's because he has talked about his family and talked about not being there for a while. Like he's talked about his brother. I agree. I think it's just more moving on, rather than there be some kind of like sinister or highfalutin kind of story element that's going to come into it. Apart from the fact that he's a Genasi and he seemingly has mentioned something about some kind of Genasi community that might still or not be there. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's all right. I mean, but again, so like bringing up because like we were saying before, not everything in D&D has to have a meaning. But because there's, at least in this story in particular, because there's so many different things being thrown at us, it's hard to choose, or it's hard to figure out which ones are actually relevant for like the main story of this series. So we're trying to find different story elements that are popping up to justify wanting to like fully buy into whichever story arc is going to be like the main one.
Yeah.
Not that there really has to be, but when we're like, is this going to have any relevance? Is because, at least for me, like I'm looking for something to piece things together, I guess is the right way to.
Yeah.
To say
Because
it.
we talked about it a little bit, and it is, as you said, I really like that that metaphor of piecing the story together, because that's kind of what we do on this show as well. So I think it's been tricky because every time it feels like we're getting to an answer, it's just going somewhere else. Like this rune that they went to find, it translated to place a fire, and it's like, okay, now what? Like, what do we do with that information? And it's like, so they're now going to go find this other person who will better understand the translation. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They're sort of like spiritual leader, I guess. One of four, I think.
Yeah, the Tetrarchy. Yeah.
Yes. But in this, we learned of a new person, Umeji.
Umeji, yeah.
Umeji.
Like that.
Another supposed connection to Rai and her past.
Yeah, because she seemed the most upset that she had left.
Yeah.
But didn't Imal, is that the Earth Genasi?
Elam.
I got those letters all mixed up. Elam, wasn't her secret that Umeji visited her before she left? Isn't that what she said?
Maybe. Was it?
Elam, yeah. I've got crit roll stats to help me with this, but they said like Elam admits that before Tetrarchy Maji left, she may have stayed the night there.
Oh.
What is going on in this triangle of people?
Oh shit. Well, we do know that she had left and is heading south towards the Iron Authority. I think that's what it was called, which is a cult, I guess, that it's worships or is a similar society dedicated to the betrayer gods? That's the kind of
It's
vibe I
it's
got.
a group of like settlements and small cities. They're hobgoblin and bugbear.
Ah, okay.
Um, they worship Grumsh, I think it is.
Rumpsh?
Grumsh. It's one of the Matari gods, but yeah,
Ah.
at least they used to. And I think they said like she's going to see if this place is as barbaric as it's made out to be. Like,
Mhm. Huh.
um, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting
Mhm.
going to that place. I do like exploring these places, but it's
Yeah.
it's a bit like I kind of want them to have a bit of a win at one of these places because it feels like they
I
get there
know.
and then they have to leave.
There's always someone hot on their heels.
Yeah, like no matter what they do, they're still kind of being outwitted somehow by
Mhm.
mysterious people in purple. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. And again, because it's like, who who's the villain? I guess there doesn't really have to be a villain. Um, and D&D doesn't have to follow like typical storytelling tropes and stuff. By like 100% doesn't have to follow any of that. But like for me, it's like I'm just trying to understand. And maybe I shouldn't be trying to understand. I should just, and I am just enjoying it for what it is, a very chaotic group of people traveling through Taldora trying to solve the issues of higher powers and stuff like that. But it also feels very grand what they're doing for level 3, interacting with gods, having a piece of having a vestige. Um, so it's kind of like, okay, so it can't be like too insane, because I mean they're only level 3. I mean it could be insane and it does end in like a TPK or something like that. Um,
I
but
think
it's
so.
like,
Yeah.
oh man, they gotta tread carefully. They are squishy babies.
Mm.
They can die pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Get the name right. Dorian got really messed up with the
Yeah,
one hit.
yeah,
You forget, yeah, they're only level 3. Those guys will go down quick.
yeah, yep. It's a bit spooky. But so a couple more things when they were telling deep dark secrets about themselves, even though most of them were really deep or dark. We learned that Fern lost her parents, or that her parents left about 50 years ago. So there's definitely
Mm,
been some time since whatever backstory stuff happened with her and the War Queen and all that stuff
yeah.
is probably from a while ago.
Mm,
Um, we learned that Opal's real name is Georgina, and Ted's full name is Theodora. It's
yes.
another more small stuff. And then just a minor thing about Daryax. He never actually dated Darla Star.
Oh,
Shame.
that was actually like
Shame,
really
shame.
sad.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, that's just Matt being like an
Yep.
excellent actor of like just like damn it.
Yep. Yep. And then we had Oram. His last name is Tarantel,
Mm,
I believe is what it was. Um, and he was checking out Daryax's apple
mm-hmm.
when he jumped off the waterfall. Very, very
Yes.
dark secret.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, everyone was. Let's be
Oh,
real.
of course. I mean, how can you not when an apple is that poppin', as
Mm.
Daryax put it. um,
Yeah, that was
but
pretty good. That was so damn quick too.
I
That made
know.
me laugh the most. Like,
Yeah,
uh
I can't. I
yeah,
can't.
Matt's incredible with
It's
that
so
stuff.
good. It's so good. Um, but anyways, so there wasn't much more they could get from Elam. Their journey was taking them to speak with this spiritual leader, um, a Loxodon, who they eventually came across after having that minor statue observer thing vision
Yeah.
with Daryax. Um, not really sure, like, his Daryax seemed to have some kind of a connection with this place, with his like compass, or it just could be there's just a lot of like divine magic
Yeah.
here, and that's why his amulet is having such a reaction to it, or
He's
something else.
something of a wanderer, but also like uh yeah, that we talked about it again in the last episode, but yeah, his divine nature is not we don't think it is assigned to any one god or deity. Like it is just this divine sense of magic. So maybe he's just like so easily attracted, or like he attracts gods so easily because they're just like, oh, what's this little bundle of divine power with no name tag on it. But but then it's also like Daryax, who is a little dim in some areas, who's just like, you know, whatever. Or is he? Maybe he knows more than he's letting on. Because
could be.
I can't imagine any sorcerer in a D&D world being just like, oh yeah, no, this is normal. Like like you're a goddamn wizard and everyone else is a muggle when you're a sorcerer. Like they look at wizards and they're like, oh, you spent 20 years learning that? Oh well, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like
I was know it.
Like this.
Yeah. I'm built differently.
Yeah. So I'd love for some kind of recognition from Daryax about his abilities. Like, what is his understanding of this divine nature and this chaotic sorcery nature?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
We haven't had a sorcerer except for Tiberius, but we haven't had a sorcerer to really like flesh out in Critical Role before, which I think's
and sorcerers are fun. They're super cool.
Potentially exciting for campaign 3. Who maybe, I don't know.
That
makes it sound like I do know. I don't clearly.
No, we know. We've seen the script. We've seen the script for campaign 3 already. It's oh man,
we got a writing credit on that whole Critters of the Moon thing.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely did. But anyways, so they do eventually meet with Thraskul, the Lexodon, like spiritual leader of Nirdal Puck. And I think one of the what do I want to call this? I mean, it was an interesting, very, very cool learning about what magic is. You know, its potential. It's a thought. It's you know, it's there, and it's up to us to think it into existence, so to speak.
Yeah.
Potential is all there. All it needs is a thought. But what is slightly terrifying or unnerving, and cause for anxiety, is how she said, and I wrote it down because I don't want to forget, your journey will end in joy or tears, death or fire. It'll come down to a single moment. Now that screams like TPK to me, almost. Where it's like this, it does end in a TPK of some sorts, where it comes down to like one moment where they do it, they like save the world or whatever happens, because apparently, from what she was saying about the events that are happening, it's like cataclysmic. At least that's what it sounds like. So it could be that it ends with them like stopping it or saving it, but then they die. So maybe it's like a little bit of both, like joy and tears, death or fire. Like maybe it's a little bit of both. What happens?
And it links back to that whole kind of, they were in this situation before. Like this is not a time loop, but maybe a repeat of past
more pattern
things.
stuff.
Yeah, and we've still got this giant mesa that just exploded from the ground. So there's clearly something else involved here. I can't see them not going back to that. Or going back to Gilmore. So I'm thinking like next episode they're going to do something, and then be like, and then you travel 16 weeks back to Mars.
It could be that.
Or maybe they teleport there. That's a possibility as well. That probably makes more sense. But yeah, like you said, it's weird to think that if that is proper foreshadowing, or if that is just, you know, mystic being mystical, that it comes down to a single decision, or it comes down to like a single choice. And
so this idea of potential, this magical potential, maybe this is the main theme, or the thing that kickstarted all these events that are happening. Perhaps due to the celestial alignments, the magic potential of Exandria is spiking in different places, which is why the Elves of Singorn are going around, or maybe like these Elves of Singorn. We don't know if they're actually affiliated with them or not.
Yeah.
That's why they're potentially going around and collecting these magical leaks, I guess is kind of what they were, and absorbing them into residuum spikes.
Such a good phrase. These magical leaks.
I don't know. I don't know what they are. But then also, whatever elemental beings caused this mesa to appear, perhaps there was like a strong magical potential in that area, and they're like, all right, this is where we're gonna create like a fiery thing because we can, because it's there, it's ripe with potential.
And it is, and we have had this kind of connection to the elements already. There's been a ton of Genasi show up.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about the elemental planes.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the, what they call them, the Ashari, like, were involved. Yeah. The fire Ashari were involved. Thordax involved. We've got a wildfire druid. Yeah. Air Genasi. Like.
So I think it really could be like, because I mean, in our modern world, it's always like, never go outside in the full moon. That's when the crazies come out. This could be like the celestial alignments that are happening in Exandria could be causing like all of these influxes in magical potential, which is just causing a chain of events to happen. And then, you know, just throw in this vestige of Lolth in there just for good measure.
Yeah, like what? What's going on with that?
I don't know.
That's so pertinent though, because that seems to be the visions that they're all having.
Yeah.
That's like, is that like a full? Is that going to come into it at all? Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
What's happening in the background? Is Lolth behind it?
Mm-hmm.
What are these Elves sing on, like, followers of Lolth? Like, Purple's kind of.
And if they're not, are they working with Posca maybe? And if not Posca, are they just working for themselves? They just want Ted. But then why do they want Ted?
I forgot about Posca completely.
Yep. Yeah, Posca's old news now. We've got bigger fish to fry. This is just like when we've been talking about campaign 2, where it's like, remember Gelladon? Remember when Gelladon was the big thing? Remember? Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Remember Vokodo?
Oh god, simple time.
That's what it feels like. It's like, it feels like with all of the chaotic stuff that's happened, with all the things that are being thrown at us, it feels like this has been like a 100 episode campaign so far. There's just so much. There's so much. But like, again, the endearing thing about it is it's so chaotic, and it feels like a home game. And that's what's attracted me to it, to this level. But I mean, doesn't stop me from being confused as heck with what's going on. But who knows? Maybe in these last 2 episodes, everything falls into place. I know we've been saying that. I feel like every What a Sheet episode that we've talked about, we're like, next episode, eventually we're gonna get something. We're gonna get something that ties it all together. And I have faith.
Yeah.
That it will get tied together somehow. And it's okay to have loose ends and stuff, and things that don't get tied up. We don't need answers to everything. Yeah. But I just want to know, like, what is like the main driving force behind these different events that are happening, because it seems like, because this Dress Cool Lexodon, she was saying that the things that are happening is leading to like this grand event, and you are all going to be responsible for either saving the world or dying in a blaze of glory or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. Like, it's just like, I want the answers. I want to understand where this all connects, and I'm sure we will get it. It's just, there's so much to think about.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. That's at least one good thing. Like, it's there's always something new happening. Like, and so next week we're heading to the Iron Authority, and and then what? And then what's next?
Yeah, because wait, why are they heading to the Iron Authority? No, I thought it was just Fira Rai that was heading there.
No, she's going.
Oh no, yeah, she's heading to find her sister. That's right.
Yeah, which, yeah.
But then, like, why why are they going to the Iron Authority?
Because Umeji
Because
is
Umeji's there, but why do they care?
because isn't she the one that can like help deduce the runes or
Maybe I think I might have missed that part. Maybe
yeah, it
I
was
probably
like
missed that part.
because Fira was saying that she brought the party to see her because she sees this
Yes.
potential in the party.
Yes.
So clearly, Umeji has some greater understanding of,
or hopefully answers to all of their burning questions that they likely have.
She's the architect sitting in a room full of TVs, and she's just going to tell us everything.
Yep. Oh, that would be nice. Please give us the exposition dump. Let us know everything. Tell us all. Fill in all of the blanks.
Yeah.
But after this meeting that they had with Thrashcool, we had a chase sequence through the city of Near Dalpak, and involving the Singorn, not Singorn affiliate elves that we don't know what their deal is with Ted. Again, could be something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be something. But I feel like I don't know. It's hard to fully dissect some of these situations because it's a lot of the time it just feels so random. Because before it just seemed like Mirada was just watching over Opal, maybe as like in a protector sense, where it's like you don't know what Ted is capable of, or like you don't understand what's happening with you, so I'm just gonna watch over you just to make sure nothing bad happens. But now all of a sudden, like, they want Ted particularly.
And we saw in a stinger, didn't we? Like, it was the end of it might have been the end of the Byroden episode when they had, like, they saw the woman in purple and she was beaten and bloodied or something.
Yeah.
So what caused that? And then why is she now after Ted? And the
okay, what if they were This is probably wrong because I don't think Posca gave two shits about Ted. But the only thing I could potentially think of is maybe like Posca and her gang were like pursuing the party, maybe, and they came across the Singorn people who they knew had just interacted with them, and so they got into a scuffle, maybe, and so now Posca's people are impersonating the Singorn people. But that seems like a big stretch.
Okay, but here's the other question. What the hell were those statue things? The three-headed meat beasts?
I think that was because there was a caster. There was a caster among them, and I think they just animated the statues. I think that's all that was.
That's high level crap. That aspect of the fight confused me a bit. I was like, yeah, because I couldn't picture what these things really were.
Yeah, I think they were just like animated golems or constructs of some kind.
Yeah, three-headed meat beast. I was trying to think of what that could sound like as a creature, but the closest I got was a chimera. Then I was like, I don't
think it was.
But no, it was. I liked seeing a chase, although it felt a little less of a chase and more of like a squabble. But yeah, no, there's some cool stuff. I like seeing. My voice just cracked. I like seeing some Orim fighting. I like Liam when he has like technical stuff to deal with.
Yeah.
So I think we might see that for him for campaign 3, like a real technical kind of character, because he was getting there with Wizard. But there's a lot more technical things you can do in D&D.
Oh yeah. But he's making me want to play a Battlemaster fighter. Those
so
maneuvers.
Fun.
Those maneuvers are so cool.
Allow me to talk about my fighter. my favorite character I have is a Battlemaster fighter, and I love him so much.
Nice.
Haven't played them in over a year.
Oh jeez. Oh.
So sad. But no. A lot of fun. No, this is cool seeing the technical kind of aspect,
Yeah.
tactician
Mhm.
nature come out of it. And then we
Yeah.
got
Direwolf Fern.
wild shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Hell yeah.
Just biting people's heads off.
Oh, absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of Avatar references this episode. Obviously, I believe this place has strong inspiration for the whole Sun Warriors stuff from Avatar. But then during the chase, when I believe it was Fira Rai who was doing some dope acrobatic shit, moving through the streets, there was the poor cabbage man losing his cabbages once more.
How did I miss that?
Yeah, she was like she pulled it, and you hear like some guy say "my cabbages" as you
wow.
as you continue
That's
on.
like a straight on the nose.
Yeah, that's a yep. And then there was another one. I believe when Fira Rai was riding Fern as the dire wolf, Abria was like yip, and she was like, okay, that's enough Avatar references.
Okay, man, I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've got like an Avatar reference radar going on at all times.
No.
Yeah, so I always appreciate a good Avatar reference, definitely. But luckily they were able to reach these assailants and defeat them. Well, they're only able to defeat one of them, and they got a snazzy ring of greater invisibility off of it. But the caster was able to dimension door away, unfortunately.
Which means they're still really close by. Like.
Yeah. Yep. They're not out of the woods yet, so to speak. They're not out of the city yet. So I don't know. They obviously unfortunately did kill this one, and I don't think they have a cleric that can cast Speak with Dead, so they can't really ask any questions to this person. So it's gonna be one of those things where we just have to wait until they get attacked again, or they come across something that gives them answers, or maybe because of this event that happened, maybe Opal will have like a small scene in the next episode where she tries to contact Ted, be like, "Yo, why the hell are these people after you?"
But is Ted going to be there? Because
that's true.
Abria said her connection was gone. Like she does for the time being, she doesn't have her magic, and now we see that Ted is clearly being assailed somehow by one of these, by this person in red, purple. So how's that gonna look next episode when if Opal can't access her magic?
Yeah, it could just be where maybe she just has to wake Ted up. I don't know. Look within herself and try to stir her awake, or something. I don't know. Because Ted is still there. It just seemed like Ted maybe feels guilty about what happened, and so he's sort of regressing back into within Opal's being. But gosh.
And it doesn't feel like there's been any or like much reconciliation still between Opal and Ted, because when she talked about it again, which is fair, I think I would feel the same way.
Yeah.
If like from Opal's perspective, someone that she was trying to get away from and is now herself. That's weird. And she's still saying it like, yeah, I still can't even be by myself. So I'm interested to see the resolution to their relationship, if it's going to be like something that Opal wants to keep or stays, or if there's some way to get Ted back, or I think it'll be an interesting conclusion to that story if we do get one like that. I think that'll probably be the thing that would annoy me the most, just as a viewer, if there is no kind of main resolution to this Ted storyline. But I feel like there's going to be, because it's Ted's bigger than we realize, I think, or not realize.
And I think wasn't it Abria that had said that Opal's character plays a pretty key role in this story? I think she might have mentioned that on Twitter.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
maybe.
Seems, but it's still like, in what capacity does she play a role? Because it seems very isolated to just Opal and to whatever these Singorn
But
people are.
yeah, but Tharis Cool was also saying how like you're all super special people, which
Yeah.
is like you don't
Hmm.
say to someone because it'll go to their head, but they're just
Hmm.
like you are all like chosen ones,
Yeah.
which is interesting for the for the for the story.
Yeah.
That was a great sentence. It's
Yeah.
interesting for the story.
Hmm.
Yeah. So who knows?
It could be maybe Ted comes out and that's the blaze of glory that happens. Like they're trying to stop whatever, I don't know, cataclysmic thing that happens, and Ted's the one who pulls through and leaves Opal's body to assist them in stopping whatever is happening. I don't know. I'm just throwing darts at a wall trying to see if something sticks. Um, but I think the theme of this series has just been absolute chaos. So I can only assume that it will also end with chaos. Uh, in what form that
Yeah.
may take is remains to be seen. But I definitely expect this series to end with a bang within the next two episodes. Our chosen
Something fire
ones.
related.
Yeah, give us something fire related, as that also seems to be one of the driving themes. Um,
Yeah.
but
Now they've
unfortunately,
lost their fire.
yeah, unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to Fira Rai this episode. I didn't think that was going to
Yeah.
happen. I thought
No.
Anjali was going to be here for the rest of the story. I'm kind of sad because he was a cool character.
Yeah. And I understand I understand why she's leaving.
Hmm.
I'm not sure I fully understand the reasoning.
Hmm.
Because it's kind of like I feel like I get the whole kind of like we were here to bring you here.
Yeah,
Um but I feel like it's not finished yet. Like the
yeah,
journey's not
and I
finished
think
yet.
uh it was either Thrash Cool, or it was when she was looking for that voice, that gift that she has, where I think, did I
Yeah.
write it down? Um,
Excuse me.
I don't think so. Um, but it was basically saying that your story with them isn't over yet. You will see them again. So
Mm.
clearly they meet up again at some point in the future, or at least that's what this gift is telling her. Um, but then again,
Hmm.
the meta knowledge that Anjali might know because of like DM stuff that she might have given to Fira Rai before the story started. Before she left, she had another sidebar with Dorian, talking to him very
Yes.
seriously. Um,
Yeah.
about I wrote down loosely what she had said, that Dorian made a terrible choice in his past, or will make a terrible choice.
Oh, really? I didn't catch the will make a terrible
Well, that
choice.
was sort of like that was like my interpretation of kind of what she
Okay,
was kind
okay.
of what she was hinting at, which would kind of make sense because he's already been leaning a little bit towards this circlet of
Yeah.
Lolth. So
Something drove him to make a terrible choice to be alone. It's never worth it to be alone.
yeah,
Uh,
yep,
but then he said, "Don't worry, I would do anything for my friends." But that was the
yeah,
problem to begin with. That was
right,
him
yeah,
making the deal with Lowell was
uh
he would do
huh,
anything for his friends. I took that as a really cool play by Robbie, the
yeah,
Dorian, because it's just like, "Don't worry, no, it's fine. I'll do anything for my friends, including
hmm,
making a deal with a betrayer god."
yeah,
Like, I thought that was a really cool character choice, if that
yeah,
is what he meant by it. But I kind
yeah,
of feel like it might have been.
hmm, yeah. I imagine it probably is. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
but then what does that mean? Because again,
Evil
like there's
Dorian.
yeah, because there's so many possibilities for like a climactic ending for this. There's the stuff with Lolth. There's now the stuff with Ted. There's the whole fire elemental stuff that could be it. Like, and I'm honestly excited for any of them because they're all pretty interesting and they've all had some semblance of build up over the course of these episodes. It's just a matter of like which one's going to take the spotlight to end this mini campaign. And perhaps
Yeah, I
some of
could
them
see.
are comboed together. I don't know.
I just had an image of the finale being like they're in a fire plate or something, and Daryax is there saying like, "You were the chosen one" to Dorian.
Oh
It's just
no.
like,
Yep.
you were meant to join us.
Yep. Yep. Anakin Obi-Wan sort of deal. Yep. I could see it. I could see it. But then we got another after credits, post credits scene with more juicy Ted stuff saying I will burn. Okay, so whatever the hell Ted did to Murata, because this was Murata that was saying this. This was a Murata POV, saying I will burn the world apart to have you, and then Ted began screaming, Ted, what did you do? What did you do, Ted? What have you gotten yourself wrapped up in?
And I'll burn the world to have you.
That's pretty extreme. That's pretty extreme. So okay, but her saying I will burn the world apart to have you, is she perhaps responsible for the fire plane stuff that's been popping up? I will burn the world to have you. It seems like pretty an extreme way to draw Ted out, maybe, unless Ted, when she had left, had something to do with some fiery stuff, maybe? Or maybe ran with these people, like a part of their gang, their squad, whatever they're up to.
Or is it their mother?
Maybe the mother? Or the dad. I know that the dad seemed to be a touchy subject for Ted. Maybe.
I kind of really hope it's not the mother. I think that would be such a...
Yeah.
I don't want to sound mean, but I feel like it'd be a really cliche thing to be like, I was your mother.
Murata is the mother in disguise.
I know it can be done like in a lot of ways, but I hope it's something different and new.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be. So many questions. But now it feels like, at least for now, Lolth has taken a bit of a backseat, so we'll see if her corruption and chaos sort of seeps through the cracks once more within the next 2 episodes. Maybe it's just like a clash of like Dorian becoming Lolth's champion versus Ted, who is the champion of the plane of elemental fire. I don't know.
Oh god.
That seems pretty out there. That seems pretty radical.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know at this point.
Anything can happen. Anything. The potential. It's the potential. You just gotta think it into existence.
All I know is that we are the moon, okay?
Yep.
That's...
For those of you who are still here listening to our crackpot theories, if there is one takeaway from this episode of the What the Sheep podcast, it is that we are the moon. We were the moon this whole time from the beginning. You heard it here first. And so, I mean, with that earth-shattering, mind-breaking, reality-bending, moon-shattering prediction or theory, or whatever you want to call it, is there anything else? We wish to bring up about this episode? Anything we'd like to touch on again?
You asked that, and I was waiting for someone else to answer, and I was like, "Oh, he's asking me."
Yep. Yep.
It's not like we've done this 55 times. No, honestly, it's as we've said. I'm just kind of waiting for some answers. I'm excited. I think the thing I'm most excited about is Dorian's kind of characterization.
Yeah, I'm really liking all that development.
I think we could get some dark stuff from there. I think we can get some more conflict with him and Orym. I think we can get some sad vibes from him with Daryax.
The angst,
yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. The angst.
Yep. This campaign's been too funny, too lighthearted so far. We need the angst. Yeah, exactly. Give it to me.
Yeah. That's probably the thing I'm looking forward to. Yeah. No,
yeah,
good.
I definitely agree. Give me the angst. And on that note, I guess we can go ahead and call this one a wrap. As always, thank you all so much for joining us in the discussion, hanging out, chit-chatting, vibing, lurking, whatever you may be doing to participate in this podcast. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed our little, our little discussion. Us going off the rails a little bit, but We are the moon. Hashtag we are the moon. We were the moon the whole
Hashtag weird.
time.
Yeah.
So as always, don't forget to love each other. Spread the love to everyone you meet, everyone you see. The world needs more love in it. But most
Yes.
importantly, don't forget to love yourself. That is the most important thing you can do. To make sure you're taking care of yourself. Eat some food, drink some water, get plenty of rest. You deserve it, and I'm proud of you for being here with us. So, with all that being said, I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your morning, day, evening, wherever you may be on this glorious earth. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye, everyone.